Imagine for a moment that everything you've been told about success is wrong. Not just slightly off, but fundamentally flawed. For years, you've been told that hard work, hustle, and grind are the only paths to achieving your dreams. Just keep pushing, they say. But what if I told you that this is exactly what's keeping you stuck? Yes, the very advice society insists on feeding you may be the reason you're still spinning your wheels, wondering why you're not further ahead. Sounds crazy, right? After all, we've all been conditioned to believe that the only way to get what we want is to work harder, sleep less, and sacrifice everything. But here's the truth, that belief is a lie. Think about it, how many times have you seen someone rise to the top, seemingly out of nowhere, while you're still here, working tirelessly? It's frustrating. It feels unfair. But it's not because they worked harder. It's because they understood something most people don't. And today, I'm about to share with you what that secret is. You see, there's a hidden force that drives success. Something that goes beyond work ethic and perseverance. It's about strategy, mindset, and alignment with your true purpose. And this force? It's what the most successful people tap into every single day. They've cracked the code. Now, I'm not saying you should sit back and do nothing. Far from it. But what if you could get ahead not by doing more, but by doing less of the wrong things and more of the right ones? This isn't just about motivation, it's about transformation. What you're about to hear will disrupt the way you think about your life, your career, and your future. The next 7 years? They could be the best of your life, if you're ready to step away from what everyone else is doing and start playing by different rules. Rules that actually work. So, are you ready to stop wasting your time on what doesn't work? Are you ready to finally unlock the power within you to change the course of your life? Let's start with a radical idea. Everything you need to achieve your dreams is already inside you. That's right. The tools, the talents, the drive, it's all there, waiting to be activated. The problem isn't that you're missing something, it's that you've been looking in the wrong places. You've been taught to seek success outside yourself, but the truth is, it begins within. Now, I know you've heard the gurus say it a million times, just find your passion, and everything will fall into place. But let's be real. If it were that easy, we'd all be living our dream lives already. It's not just about passion, it's about purpose. And that's a crucial distinction. Here's why this matters. Passion is what excites you in the moment. Purpose is what sustains you for the long haul. Passion fades, but purpose is what keeps you going when the excitement wears off. Purpose is the compass that keeps you on track, even when life gets tough, even when success feels a million miles away. But how do you find this purpose? Let me tell you, it's not about looking outside for someone to tell you what to do. It's about listening to that voice inside you, the one you've been ignoring for too long. The one that whispers, you're meant for something bigger. Because you are. And deep down, you know it. The problem is, most of us have spent our entire lives trying to fit into someone else's mold. We've followed the rules, ticked the boxes, and then wondered why we feel so empty. That's because you're not here to follow someone else's blueprint for success. You're here to create your own. And that blueprint? It's already inside you, waiting to be discovered. Here's the thing about purpose, it doesn't always scream at you. It whispers. It shows up in the moments when you feel truly alive, when time seems to stop, and you lose yourself in the work. Those moments are clues. Clues that lead you back to your true self, to the life you're meant to live. But most people miss those clues. They're too busy chasing someone else's definition of success. They think they need to hustle harder, to grind more. But let me tell you something counterintuitive, doing more isn't the answer. In fact, doing more of the wrong things is what's holding you back. The secret is doing less of what drains you and more of what aligns with your purpose. Think about that for a second. What if you could wake up every day and focus only on the things that truly matter to you? What if you could let go of all the noise, the distractions, the expectations, and just do what you were born to do? How much more powerful would you be? How much faster would you reach your goals? And here's the kicker, when you're in alignment with your purpose, success doesn't feel like a struggle. It flows. Things start to fall into place. The right opportunities come your way. The right people show up. It's not magic, it's alignment. And that's the difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive. So, stop chasing someone else's dream. Stop following the crowd. The next 7 years of your life could be the most extraordinary, but only if you have the courage to listen to yourself. Only if you're brave enough to trust that the path you're meant to walk is already within you. What's your purpose? It's time to find out. Let's shatter another myth: success doesn't have to be hard. In fact, the idea that you need to constantly grind and hustle to achieve your goals is not only wrong, it's holding you back. Think about it for a moment. We've been taught to glorify exhaustion, to wear busyness like a badge of honor, but what has that really gotten us? Burnout. Stress. Frustration. It's time to rethink everything you've been told about hard work. Here's the truth: working harder doesn't guarantee success. It never has. If it did, every person pulling double shifts, every entrepreneur staying up until 3 a.m. would be at the top. But they're not, are they? The reality is, success comes from working smarter, not harder. The secret lies in focusing your efforts on the few things that truly matter, the things that make a real impact, and letting go of the rest. Now, I know this sounds completely counterintuitive. It goes against everything we've been raised to believe. But here's a question for you: why do some people seem to achieve extraordinary results with minimal effort, while others work themselves into the ground and get nowhere? It's not luck, and it's not because they have more hours in the day. It's because they've learned the power of leverage. Leverage is about using your time, energy, and resources in the most efficient way possible. It's about finding that one action, that one decision, that sets off a chain reaction of success. Instead of doing everything, you focus on doing the right things. Think of it like this: if you were trying to chop down a tree, would you rather have a blunt axe that requires hours of hard labor, or a sharpened one that gets the job done in a fraction of the time? Most people are swinging the blunt axe, thinking that if they just keep hacking away, they'll eventually succeed. But what if you could sharpen your axe first? What if you could identify the precise actions that would yield the highest results with the least effort? Here's where things get really interesting. The highest achievers in the world aren't the ones working the longest hours. They're the ones who have mastered this art of leverage. They know how to prioritize the vital few over the trivial many. They understand that 80% of their results come from just 20% of their efforts. This is called the Pareto Principle, and it's one of the most powerful concepts you can apply to your life. So, what does this look like in practice? It means ruthlessly cutting out the tasks, habits, and commitments that aren't serving your bigger goals. It means focusing your energy on what really moves the needle, whether that's a key project at work, a critical skill to develop, or an important relationship to nurture. Most people are afraid to let go of the busyness because it feels like they're doing something. But here's the secret: being busy isn't the same as being productive. In fact, the busier you are, the less likely you are to be focusing on what truly matters. When you strip away the unnecessary, you create space for clarity, focus, and creativity. And that's where the real breakthroughs happen. You don't need to be running on fumes to get ahead. You don't need to sacrifice your health, your relationships, or your peace of mind to succeed. What you need is a smarter strategy. One that's based on doing less, but better. Imagine what your life could look like if you applied this principle every day. What if, instead of feeling overwhelmed by a never-ending to-do list, you could identify the few key actions that would lead to the most significant results? What if, instead of trying to juggle a million things, you could simplify your life and still achieve more? This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a proven strategy. And it's something you can start doing right now. The next 7 years don't have to be a grind. They can be a time of ease, growth, and fulfillment if you're willing to stop working so hard on things that don't matter and start focusing on what truly does. So, are you ready to embrace this counterintuitive truth? The path to success isn't about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it better. Before continuing, I invite you to click on the first comment. It will help you a lot. What if I told you that making a massive change in your life doesn't require a complete overhaul? In fact, the fastest way to see results isn't through some dramatic transformation, it's through small, intentional changes. That's right. You don't need to reinvent yourself overnight. You just need to tweak a few key things, and the impact will be far bigger than you expect. Think about it: we often believe that in order to improve our lives, we need to make huge sacrifices, adopt extreme routines, or radically shift our behavior. And because that feels overwhelming, we don't even start. But what if you could achieve more with tiny adjustments that compound over time? These small changes create what I call a ripple effect. One shift leads to another, and before you know it, your entire life looks different. Let me give you an example. Have you ever tried to lose weight by going on a strict diet, only to give up after a few weeks because it felt impossible to sustain? You're not alone. Most people fail with drastic changes because they require too much willpower. But what if, instead of cutting out everything you love, you made one small change, like swapping your sugary drinks for water? That one decision might seem insignificant, but over time, it leads to more energy, better health, and even a shift in mindset. And that's just the beginning. The power of small changes is backed by science. It's called the aggregation of marginal gains. It's the principle that small, 1% improvements in key areas can lead to massive results over time. This concept was famously used by the British cycling team, who had struggled for years to win any major titles. Instead of trying to make a huge leap forward, they focused on improving everything by just 1%. They tweaked their training methods, their diet, their equipment, even the pillows they slept on. Within 5 years, they dominated the sport, winning Olympic gold medals and Tour de France titles. Now, let's apply this idea to your life. What if, instead of trying to make a huge leap forward, you focused on small, manageable changes that could lead to big results? Here are some examples. Want to improve your finances? Start by saving just 1% more of your income each month. Looking to build a new skill? Dedicate just 10 minutes a day to practicing it. Struggling with your relationships? Try making one small gesture of appreciation each day. These are tiny actions, but they compound. Over time, they build momentum. And as you start seeing the benefits of these small changes, something incredible happens. You get motivated to do more. You start to believe in your own ability to create lasting change, and that belief is the most powerful tool you have. The best part? These small changes don't feel overwhelming. They don't require a massive effort. They're sustainable. And because they're easy to maintain, they lead to consistent progress. Imagine where you'll be a year from now if you start making small changes today. Not a huge transformation in a week or a month, but real, lasting progress that feels natural and achievable. Here's the truth: you don't need to wait for some perfect moment to start improving your life. You don't need to overhaul everything. All you need to do is make small, intentional adjustments, today, tomorrow, and the day after that. And as these changes add up, you'll start to see the results. Fast. So, what's one small change you can make today that will lead to a big impact tomorrow? Maybe it's getting up 30 minutes earlier to have some quiet time. Maybe it's setting aside just 5 minutes to plan your day. Whatever it is, start small. Start now. The rewards will come quicker than you think. This isn't about waiting years to see progress. You can start seeing positive changes in your life in days or even hours, if you're willing to embrace the power of small actions. The next 7 years? They're going to look radically different, but only because of the little things you start doing right now. What if I told you that the secret to transforming your life lies in a single question? A question so powerful, it can completely shift the way you think, act, and approach every challenge. It's not complicated, but it has the potential to unlock the answers to your biggest problems. Intrigued? You should be. Here's the question: what if it were easy? Simple, right? But before you dismiss it, let's dig deeper. Most of us go through life believing that achieving success, happiness, or fulfillment has to be hard. We've been conditioned to think that struggle is a necessary part of the process, that nothing worth having comes easily. And because of that belief, we subconsciously make things harder than they need to be. We add layers of complexity, self-doubt, and overthinking that turn simple tasks into monumental challenges. But what if you flip that mindset? What if, instead of assuming that everything has to be difficult, you approached life with the idea that things could be easy? Imagine you're facing a problem at work, a personal challenge, or even a major life decision. Now, ask yourself, what if this were easy? What would the solution look like if it didn't have to be a struggle? Suddenly, your brain starts looking for simpler, more efficient paths. You start cutting through the noise and finding clarity. Instead of getting bogged down by stress and complexity, you find the path of least resistance, and that's where the magic happens. Here's why this question is so powerful. It shifts your focus from obstacles to possibilities. When you assume that something is hard, your mind immediately starts building walls. But when you ask how it could be easy, you start to see doors where there used to be walls. Let me give you an example. Think about a goal you've been struggling to achieve. Maybe it's a career change, a fitness goal, or even improving your relationships. Chances are, you've been approaching it with the mindset that it's going to be a long, difficult road. That belief alone creates friction and resistance. But now, pause for a moment and ask, what if this were easy? What if making progress didn't have to be a painful, uphill battle? Maybe the solution is simpler than you've made it out to be. Maybe you don't need to overhaul your entire life to get where you want to go. Maybe all it takes is one simple shift, whether it's focusing on one key action, delegating a task, or letting go of something that's been holding you back. Here's the real kicker: most of the barriers we face are self-imposed. We make things harder than they need to be because we believe they should be. But when you ask, what if this were easy, you give yourself permission to bypass those barriers. You start to believe that progress doesn't have to come at the expense of your well-being, your time, or your peace of mind. Let's be clear, this isn't about avoiding effort or responsibility. It's about using your energy in a way that maximizes results with minimal stress. It's about finding smart, efficient solutions that allow you to move forward without getting stuck in the grind. Think about some of the most successful people you admire. Do they seem to be struggling and stressed out all the time? Or do they seem to move through life with a sense of ease, like they're in flow? That's not an accident. They've learned to find the easy path, not because they're avoiding hard work, but because they're focusing on the right work. They've mastered the art of simplifying, of cutting through the noise, and of making things look effortless. The next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or stuck, remember this question. Ask yourself, what if it were easy? Then watch as your mind starts to unlock solutions you hadn't even considered. Solutions that don't involve burnout, exhaustion, or endless struggle. And here's the best part: once you start applying this question to your life, you'll notice that things do start to get easier. Challenges that used to feel insurmountable suddenly feel manageable. Tasks that once drained your energy now take a fraction of the time. You start to move with more confidence, more clarity, and more momentum. This one simple shift in perspective can be the key to unlocking your full potential. The next 7 years of your life don't have to be defined by struggle. They can be defined by ease, flow, and progress, if you're willing to ask the right question. So, next time you face a challenge, pause. Take a breath. And ask yourself, what if it were easy? The answer just might change everything. Let's talk about your future, the next 7 years of your life. What if I told you that, starting today, everything could change? Not in some distant, far-off future, but right now. You could set in motion the steps that lead you to the life you've always dreamed of. And the best part? It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out process. The transformation can begin instantly. You see, most people live under the illusion that change takes time. They believe that significant progress happens gradually, over months or even years. But here's the thing, they're wrong. Real transformation doesn't happen over time. It happens in a single moment. The moment you decide that enough is enough. The moment you stop waiting for the perfect conditions. The moment you choose to step into the life you were meant to live. And that moment, it's right now. The future isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create. Every decision you make, every action you take, is shaping your tomorrow. The question is, what kind of future are you building? Are you creating a life filled with purpose, joy, and achievement? Or are you letting time slip by, waiting for things to get easier, for opportunities to fall into your lap? Here's the promise I'm making to you today: if you commit to taking control of your life right now, you can achieve more in the next 7 years than you've ever dreamed possible. You can look back and realize that this moment, this decision, was the turning point. The moment where everything changed. But first, you need to let go of the limiting belief that change is slow. That growth is hard. That success takes forever. These are just stories we tell ourselves to justify staying in our comfort zone. The truth is, everything you want is closer than you think. And the key to unlocking it? Action. but not just any action. I'm talking about focused, intentional action. Action that's aligned with your purpose. You don't need to do everything at once, and you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Take that first step, and the path will unfold in front of you. So, how do you make sure the next 7 years are the best of your life? It begins with a decision, a commitment to yourself that you're done with mediocrity, done with waiting, done with playing small. You're ready to step into your potential, to live life on your terms, and to pursue your goals with relentless focus. You might be thinking, but where do I even start? And the answer is simple: start with one thing. Choose one area of your life that matters most to you right now. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth. Whatever it is, make a commitment to improve it, just 1% every day. Because here's the truth: small, consistent improvements lead to massive, life-altering results. Remember what we talked about earlier, the power of marginal gains. You don't need to revolutionize your life overnight. You just need to start moving forward, bit by bit, step by step. And before you know it, you'll look back and see how far you've come. The transformation won't feel like a struggle, it will feel natural, inevitable. But here's the catch: you have to start. No more waiting for the right moment. No more letting fear or doubt stop you from taking action. The perfect time doesn't exist. The only time that matters is now. Imagine yourself 7 years from today. You're standing in a life that's completely transformed. You've achieved the goals you once thought were impossible. You've become the person you've always wanted to be. And it all started with the decision you made today. This is your moment. The next 7 years are yours for the taking. But only if you're willing to seize them. Only if you're willing to bet on yourself, to believe that you deserve more, and to take action right now. So, what will you choose? Will you keep living life on autopilot, letting the years pass you by? Or will you decide, right here and now, to take control of your future and make the next 7 years the most incredible journey of your life? The choice is yours. Your future starts now. Now, let's talk about something bigger than goals, bigger than success itself. Let's talk about legacy, the mark you're going to leave on this world. What will people say about you when you're gone? What impact will you have made, not just in your life, but in the lives of others? Because, here's the thing, you're not just living for today or even for the next 7 years, you're creating a legacy that will last long after you're gone. But here's the uncomfortable truth: most people never think about their legacy. They're too caught up in the daily grind, too focused on the short term to see the bigger picture. They settle for what's easy, comfortable, or expected. And as a result, they leave behind little more than a memory of a life that could have been more. I don't believe that's what you want. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You know there's a purpose you're meant to fulfill, a difference you're meant to make. You know that your life is meant to matter in ways that go beyond the surface, beyond the day-to-day routines, and beyond just getting by. So, let me ask you, what will your legacy be? Think about it. What do you want to be remembered for? Is it your success at work? The money you made? Or is it the way you inspired others? The way you led with courage, kindness, and conviction? The way you showed up, not just for yourself, but for the people around you, your family, your friends, your community? Your legacy isn't something that happens by accident. It's something you create, starting today, with every choice you make. It's in the way you live, the way you treat others, the risks you take, and the dreams you chase. It's about the impact you have, not because you followed someone else's path, but because you carved out your own. Here's what most people don't realize: your legacy isn't built in the grand moments. It's built in the small, everyday decisions you make. It's in the way you respond to challenges, the way you keep going when others quit, the way you give back even when it's hard. These are the things people will remember about you. These are the things that will inspire others long after you're gone. The next 7 years are your opportunity to start building that legacy. To stop playing small. To stop waiting for permission to live the life you know you're capable of. This isn't just about you, it's about the people whose lives you'll touch, the ripple effect you'll create by showing up as your best self. Think about how your actions today can set the stage for something far greater. Every dream you chase, every challenge you overcome, every time you refuse to settle, you're not just improving your own life, you're creating a roadmap for others to follow. You're showing the world what's possible. And that's how you build a legacy. You don't need to wait until you're older, wealthier, or more qualified to start making an impact. You can start right now with what you have. Because your legacy isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about how you make people feel. It's about the example you set. It's about showing others that they, too, can live a life of purpose and meaning. So, here's my challenge to you: don't just aim for success. Aim for significance. Don't just focus on the next 7 years, think about the ripple effect your actions will have for decades to come. What kind of impact do you want to leave behind? What kind of difference do you want to make in the lives of others? You see, your legacy is already in the making. Every day, with every decision, you're writing the story of your life. And the best part? You get to choose what that story will be. Will it be a story of playing it safe, of staying small, of following the crowd? Or will it be a story of courage, boldness, and a relentless pursuit of the life you were meant to live? The next 7 years are your chance to start writing the greatest chapter of your life. The chapter where you finally step into your power, where you make decisions not just for today, but for the future you want to create. A future where you're proud of the legacy you're building. So, ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave behind? And what can you do, starting today, to make that legacy a reality? Your legacy is waiting. It's time to create it.